Welcome back to Ozarks Fox AM. It is Wednesday, which means that we get to chat with our friend Michael Babcock at TMZ to get the latest scoop on all the Hollywood headlines. Michael, how's it going, my friend?
Good morning, guys. It's going great. How are you?
It's going well. We were at 104 degrees yesterday here in Springfield.
100 and...
Listen, but there's other great things about Springfield.
Yeah, there are good things.
We don't want you to think that we're just boiling and that's it. It's really a great place.
No, that's just, yeah, hot, yeah.
You can't even imagine that right now, Michael, right?
I wish, a lot of times I wish it was a little hotter here, but I'm going to keep my mouth shut now because
don't complain. Don't complain to us, yes.
It's like 71 here, but it's
oh
too
my
cool.
gosh.
You can't even go swimming, but
that's a dream.
I hope it cools down soon.
Thank you. So, hey, Michael, I know Brittany's in the news. I actually screenshotted some of her posts yesterday on Instagram because, before she deleted them, because I knew she would, and she was calling out her mama, but that's not what we're talking about today, though. But you got Brittany news?
But we're talking about family drama, though, and it's related. You know, she obviously has her issues with her mom and also with her dad. And, you know, as the conservatorship hearing was going and the judge was about to make a decision as to whether Brittany could be free or not, you know, Brittany's attorney had vowed, you know, if we get out of this conservatorship, we are not going to let her dad off of the hook. You know, they thought Jamie Spears, you know, took money, misappropriated money over the years, you know, gave it to people that shouldn't have gotten it. And they were like, we're gonna look into this and we're going to go after you if you did anything wrong. Well, now they're trying to do that. And Jamie Spears, her father, and Brittany's attorney, Matt Rosengart, are kind of battling in court. So Jamie, really wants Brittany to sit for a deposition, and Matt doesn't want that to happen. So they're both filing these documents with the court. Jamie saying she should have to sit for a deposition, Matt saying the opposite. It seems like, and there hasn't been a lawsuit filed or anything yet, but it seems like they are, Matt Rosengart, Brittany's side is looking at some of the financial stuff that may have happened inappropriately over the years. And it's very possible that you have a situation where Britney Spears is suing her dad. I mean, that's very possible. And, you know, if you thought these two were done fighting after the conservatorship, unfortunately not.
That's so sad.
Yeah, seems like something that just doesn't have an end. It will be followed up by something else. That's very unfortunate. Yeah,
and you know they're a family, and you hope they can.
You know, I like Michael. My new favorite thing is going down a rabbit hole on TikTok of Britney conspiracy theories.
Oh, and there's
a lot.
I haven't seen, but I'm sure there's a lot.
Well, there's so much. You know, you told us a few weeks ago she bought the new house close to Kevin Federline.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's confused why she's not posting videos from the new house. It's all still from the old house. And then she was supposed to be like overseas, but somebody pointed out that the artwork in the room is used at hotels in America, not in Europe. And it's very weird to be like, what is happening with Britney? So I like following those kind of stories. I'm like, I've said it from the get-go, Michael. I do think she was under conservatorship for a reason because of that, you know, the medical evaluation. And it's kind of like now that she's free, you're kind of seeing a different side of Britney, and you're like, wow, she's
you hope she's okay. It's you hope that because you know a lot of her fans were, you know, free Britney, but you know did they really you know look into it deeply enough to say, hey, should this person actually be free? So hopefully the answer is yes, because she is you know on her own now, and yeah, you absolutely hope that she's okay. And like she got married, I expect that they're going to move into the new house. I don't know why she wouldn't be taking the photos from the new place. And it's just some strange stuff. No question, Jeremy.
Do you want to, can you text her after we get off and see what she says?
That'd be great.
Oh, yeah. I'll report back next week.
I have a feeling you guys are tight, yeah. Also, I know, now this is a name I have not said in years. Chris Brown, he's back in the news?
Yeah, Chris Brown. So there was a benefit concert in March in Houston after some hurricanes, some bad weather had gone through the area. It was Hurricane Ida and Nicholas. So there was going to be this benefit concert March 19th, and Chris Brown was going to perform. Well, there is this woman that says, hey, you know, Chris was contracted to perform. We gave him $1 million advance for, you know, some of the costs and the travel and whatnot. And she claims right before, she says in the sound check, he canceled. So she said, you know, look, I had to put on this show and my big star, he canceled here. And, you know, this is a big problem. Well, Chris has a bit of a different story here. Now, Chris says on the 17th, which is 2 days before the 19th, when the woman says Chris actually canceled right before the show, there was a letter sent to the organizers that basically said, hey, this other star, Bryson Tiller, he's not performing anymore, and you haven't replaced him with anybody viable, so that violates Chris's contract, and he's not going to be at the benefit concert. So they sent that on the 17th. Perhaps the woman didn't get it until the 19th. That bit's unclear. But the bottom line is this woman says, hey, I gave you $1 million to perform at this concert and you never showed up. So now Chris has said, hey, I'll make a 6-figure donation, but 6 figures is not 7 figures. So, we're going to have to see what happens. But she has vowed, the woman who was in charge of the event has vowed, hey, if you don't give me this money back, if we don't make this right, then we're going to have to go to court. So, another court battle to look forward to.
Wow. Can I just be honest with you? I didn't know people were still paying Chris Brown to perform. I'll be honest with you.
$1 million.
Yeah, apparently, yeah.
In advance.
Yeah.
I think you should have to pay it back if you didn't perform.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. No, me too. Me too. I mean, that just seems right. I don't know what the language of his deal said, and maybe he gets to keep the advance if something goes wrong. Who knows? But it would only seem appropriate if you got something, but you didn't actually, hold up your end of the bargain. You probably have to give that back.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Right. I would imagine he's going to think that this was not probably all worth it in the end. He should have just given it back.
Just give it back.
Yeah. He's got a lot of money. I mean, he's had a lot of success over the years. So you think, $1 million, maybe not the biggest deal. It's not like it would be for me. I don't think it's changing his life. So.
Right.
Yeah.
And do I hear that my friend Conor McGregor is he in the news again?
You have the best Conor accent. Yeah,
I tried.
He is.
I tried,
So you remember Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, they fought each other. They boxed in 2017, and it was one of the biggest events, sporting events of the year, certainly one of the biggest combat events ever. Well, there have been reports that they are actually going to have a rematch and that they are, quote unquote, very close to making this happen. So yesterday I was talking to Dana White, and he's the guy who runs the UFC. He said, and I'm not going to use the word he used, but basically complete nonsense, not going to happen. And he's not just somebody who's watching from the outside here. Conor McGregor is under contract with Dana White and the UFC. So if Conor is going to box Floyd Mayweather, Dana White has to say okay, and Dana says it's not happening.
Sounds like it's not.
Yeah, I don't say so. But Michael, hey, just watch your
screen. The first fight wasn't very entertaining, so I don't think that's quite all right. I'm glad they're not fighting again. It wasn't very entertaining.
Okay, Michael, before you go, watch your screen because I'm going to do my Conor McGregor walk for you because I have to do it for you. Are you ready? Here we go.
Okay, yeah, I'm watching you now.
I'm Conor McGregor. I'm going to take you out, Floyd. Mary, what are you doing? I'm going to take you out, Floyd. You're going to take me Lucky Charms? I don't think so. Oh, you better sit down there.
You know what that walk is called? The Billy strut.
Thank you. That's my impersonation just for you today, Michael. Just for you.
I thought we had Conor McGregor on here for a second.
Hey, I'll come on TMZ Sports later if you want.
Yeah, text me.
Thanks so much, Michael. We'll see you next week. You can catch TMZ weekdays at 5 p.m. and TMZ Live weekdays at 2 p.m. right here on Fox. Don't go anywhere. So much more fun with Beth Ray.
More dancing.
And cheesecake after this.